Alden was a man who knew the secrets of the salt and the spray. For many years, he lived his life on the deck of a wooden ship, far from the comfort of dry land. The sea was his home, but it was a home that never stayed still. He spent his days pulling heavy ropes and watching the dark waves rise like mountains around him. The cold was Alden's constant companion. At night, the wind screamed across the water, freezing the salt on his skin. He often sat alone, shivering in his thin cloak, while the ice hung from the ship's mast like frozen tears. His feet were numbed by the frost, and his heart was heavy with a deep, aching loneliness that no fire could warm. On the wide ocean, there were no human voices to answer his calls. Instead of the laughter of friends, Alden heard the cry of the wild swan and the scream of the seabirds. He watched a lonely tern dive into the freezing foam. These birds were his only neighbors in the vast, empty world of water and mist. Far away, in the bright cities of the land, people lived in warmth and safety. Alden thought of a merchant he once knew who sat by a glowing fire, drinking red wine from a silver cup. To the people on land, the world was a garden of flowers and easy joys. They could never understand the shadows that lived in a sailor's soul. Even though the sea was dangerous and cold, a strange hunger lived in Alden's chest. Every spring, when the flowers began to bloom on land, his heart did not want to stay in the garden. He felt a powerful longing to travel. He wanted to go where the whales played and where the water met the edge of the sky. One morning, a cuckoo bird sang from a nearby shore. Its voice was clear and beautiful, but to Alden, it sounded like a warning. The bird sang of the coming summer, but it also sang of the journey ahead. Alden knew that to seek the wonders of the world, he had to leave the safety of the shore behind once again. Alden realized that the things men love on earth do not last forever. Gold can be stolen, and glory can be forgotten. He looked at an old, bent coin in his hand and knew that no amount of wealth could follow a man into the afterlife. The world was changing, and the greatness of the past was fading like the morning mist. As the years passed, Alden felt the strength leaving his arms. He saw his reflection in the dark water and noticed the gray in his beard. He knew that every person, whether a king or a sailor, must eventually face the end of their journey. Life on earth was fleeting, like a breath of wind on the sail. In his loneliness, Alden turned his eyes toward the heavens. He began to think about faith and the eternal home that waits beyond the stars. He realized that the storms of the sea were small compared to the power of the Creator. He found peace in the thought that his soul had a destination that no wave could reach. Alden steered his ship toward the light of the new day. He was no longer afraid of the cold or the deep water. He understood that his life at sea was a path leading him to a true home. With a steady hand on the rudder, the seafarer sailed onward, ready for the journey that never ends.